What's up, guys? No, we're not at the Tokyo Motor Show. We're actually at the Toyota Commemorative Museum, and what you see at the background there is called the Circular Loom. Did you know that Toyota did not actually start by making cars? Got some Japanese kids here on a ski trip. We walked past them, everyone was like, hello, hello, hello. 1906, guys. That's how old this thing is. This ended up being patented in like 19 different countries and was called the Dream Loom. Look at how majestic it is. I mean, I have no interest or knowledge in textile weaving, but look at that thing, man. Imagine creating something like that back in 1906. Such is the contribution of this landmark, both for, I guess, the Toyota brand and Japan, that was actually immortalized, celebrated. That in 2005, the Japanese government actually made a stamp out of this. This circular loom basically allowed weaving of really broad fabric with minimal use of energy. We've got a crazy amount of kids here, so it's a little noisy, bear with me. But back to the circular loom. I mean, the significance of this, it marked the beginning of automation in the industry of textile weaving, and it allowed the textile weaving process to be done quietly, minimal energy consumption, and of course, as you can see over there, the production of extremely broad textiles. So what you're seeing here is the replica model of the original automatic weaving mill. Started out by Toyota Group founder Saikichi Toyoda. What you should also know is that this is actually the very core, the very catalyst of the Toyota Group today, because of how successful they were with the automatic looming process. They were able to create so much, do so well, and eventually expand into the automobile industry via Saikichi Toyoda's son, Kichiro, in 1935. So because of his tenacity and his tendency for innovation, Saikichi Toyoda created this in 1924, the non-stop automatic loom, which basically allowed textile weaving to take place around the clock. And I know you might find this to be a bit boring, non-automotive related, but maybe try to see it in this light, man. This level of innovation, this level of creativity, this sort of spirit of engineering, without trying to bullshit you too much with the fancy words, is essentially still present in Toyota today. They started from textile to creating automobiles, and now you have Akio Toyoda trying to introduce the world to future mobility with the introduction of the e-pallet, as we have shown you at the Tokyo Motor Show, the e-racer, Akio Toyoda's vision of a racing horse, so to speak, of the future. You know, how we have horses and horse carts as a means of ordinary day-to-day commuting. The e-racer is used like a racehorse for recreational purposes. I think it's just incredible. So compared to that one over there made in 1924, this is actually the first power loom. And guess what? Made in 1896 out of steel and iron. Just simply incredible. So as you guys can tell, traditional Japanese attire is very fabric intensive. So obviously with the success of automation, creating things faster and cheaper, they've got the money to fund their other sort of ventures and eventually into automotive. Look at this studious Japanese kid. I love Japanese kids, man. I mean, not in that way, of course, but look at that tenacity. We were never taught to be like that in school. So these two machines, and we're really going into history now, are from the 1800s, man, late 1800s. And this cloth here is a product of these weaving machines. It's absolutely shocking, actually, the kind of quality that they can produce from the 1800s. I have felt cloths way harsher, way rougher in 2019. And this is from 1880. I mean, this cloth is not from 1880, but like, you know, the product of it, incredible. How did they go from this to this and eventually being one of the biggest, most successful car companies in the world? It just makes you wonder. Not the kind of machinery we're all interested in, but hey, you know, you can't run without learning to walk, right? So this, everything you see here, it all helped start Toyota. Oh man, seeing all this reminds me so much of the movie Wanted by James McAvoy and Angelina Jolie. I'm just waiting for her to pop up any second now. Morgan Freeman standing somewhere, taking down names. I should probably be careful with what I say. Don't want curving bullets coming at me. Yup, just as I mentioned the movie Wanted, I see this lying in the corner. Remember James McAvoy trying to catch that? In that? Ugh, I'm getting the goosebumps, man. I'm telling you, Morgan Freeman is standing somewhere around here. Are you Morgan Freeman? No? I'm not sure if you can see the structure through this absolutely terrible weather in Nagoya, but these are actually the original walls of the original factory. Yes, what you've all been waiting for. So we're finally at the automobile pavilion, and check out this interesting bit of history that I stumbled upon. Went to the UK for a patent transfer of the automatic loom machine, took advantage of the opportunity in the US and Europe to study the actual situation within the automotive industry. Sneaky bugger, huh? Such an opportunist. But really though, if it wasn't for these guys and their revolutionary minds, whatever we know of Toyota today would probably not be possible. Probably wouldn't even be existent. Such a significant piece of history. People helping people, man. This is essentially what it is. Probably what they cycled into Malaysia with. One of Toyota's earliest prototypes, guys. The Type A, if I'm not wrong. Look at how streamlined that is. And this is from the early 1900s. So you know the car I showed you earlier? Here's the actual car. And bam! The ones that you guys definitely be interested in. Oh, sorry, it's not the AA. It's not the Type A, it's the AA. Suicide doors. Look, I managed to convince the lady to squeeze a ball. Reason why it's there is for them to use their thighs to squeeze while both hands are on the steering wheel. That's so interesting. Look at these guys, man. One married, one about to be married. Now we've all seen quite a few in this Malaysia. I've personally been up close and personal with a couple of nice examples. But I don't think I've ever seen one in this condition before. What? Look at these hood vents. Now, as massive as these cars look, they may seem like a heavy heap of metal. Only 940 kilos actually. You can see why they barricaded it though. They know people won't be able to resist jumping onto it essentially. Hope you've enjoyed watching this. We'll have more videos coming soon from our visits to other Toyota museums, so stay tuned.